Hi there, folks. Simon here. This is game 2 of the finals of the Q2 2023 Beginner TAC Tournament. This is between NameOfStone and adelta. NameOfStone in white, adelta in black. We saw adelta win in game 1 with a road. NameOfStone just missed it. But it was a tough game for NameOfStone. adelta really pushed it hard as white, just not giving any ground up the whole time. So, just like every game in this tournament, we are playing it on a 6x6 board, as you can tell, with 15 minutes on the clock, 10-second increment, meaning 10 seconds gets added to your clock after every turn, and 0 Comey. And if you're wondering about what the heck Comey is, don't worry about it. We're not using it. Doesn't matter. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into game 2 of this finals match. All right, we see the adjacent corners coming out. Oh, not adjacent, opposite corners coming out. And then NameOfStone going straight for that center control. This is an older opening that we saw quite a bit, and we saw quite a bit in this tournament, actually, is this sort of mirrored opening that was very popular in the 2021 TAC Open. But now we're seeing the deviation. This is where likely a black will drop a capstone here at D5, because that would be a brilliant spot to drop a capstone. It follows a lot of the guidelines we talk about in the capstones video of TAC University, but not going to go for that. Instead, going to place a flat over here. I feel like adelta in game 1 played a really great capstone. It was very similar position, and now finally is dropping a capstone there. Maybe they had some other plan, but white dropping a capstone also in a great spot. That's a solid spot for a capstone for white, right in the middle of basically all of black's resources. So white's going to be able to take over a little bit of there, but black still continuing to build up at B5. Now this works for their vertical line, but it also works for any sort of horizontal line they want to be building on later on. This B4 flat is a pretty important one. However, I feel like black building over potentially at B6 is just going to work out really well for them. They can continue to build for that vertical, and also it helps for their horizontal as well. I feel like B6 was a little bit better than A5 because we saw white come over onto C3 instead of onto B4. Interesting play. I'm not sure what they were going for with that. Black comes up to kind of isolate the capstone a bit, but white can potentially just throw this capstone up onto C5, which they might do, but instead they're going around to the side to kind of cut off black from going for this horizontal. Black playing up above at E6, where we might be seeing an F6 from white. Otherwise, black's going to play at F6 and make that tack threat right away. No, instead we see the D6 from white. Interesting. Now, if I'm black, I'm going to play at F6. Because I know that white can make a threat by capturing right onto E6 here with D6. And then that's open. And I would need to drop probably a wall there to keep just a continuous thing from happening. So an F6 would kind of protect this E6 flat. And so D6 comes over, F6 can come left, and then if E5 comes up, then I'm free to drop a wall or even just drop a flat here, because I know that this stack has to do something in this direction. And if they capture down, I can capture it with my capstone and kind of get in the way of things. So overall, I think that's a pretty good play as F6, but instead of going to be playing at F5 to make the tack threat, first tack threat of the game, I think at least. And that's easily going to be countered by that move. Now, are we going to see an F5 left, or are we going to see an E4 placement to make a threat? So this is a threat for white now. Black can stop it by placing at E4 and also create their own threat at the same time. E4 likely going to be followed by D4 right. Now, if D4 right happens, we might see the flat on F5 come left, and if any sort of recapture happens, that capstone comes right to capture it. But yeah, I feel like E4 is the move here. Like, that feels like the right move, the right play. Now, this c5 stack is a little scary to me because it is within range of that capstone. Granted, white doesn't really want to go for it at this point, but later on, that could become a pretty huge liability. Adelta taking her time thinking about this move, what to make here. They both played very quickly in game one. This time, NameOfStone also still playing very quickly above that 15-minute mark that he started with. Adelta down just below 13 minutes, probably realizing, hey, I can take my time here. I don't need to worry about this. Smart play here. Dropping a wall, very defensive, can come up and then come up again onto e6 to threaten the drawbridge road threat. Always fun. Now white should probably play at b3 and just switch gears, go straight for the horizontal now. Instead playing up at c6, wanting to toss that capstone up. I'm not sure about that one. Black playing at the d6. If white tosses the capstone, that's exactly what happens. Now white's got a threat by capturing down. Black can cut that off, capture left on his c6. They can bring this capstone down. They can bring the wall down. They can do a bunch of different things here to stop this threat from happening. Overall, white's in a better position here, specifically because they can go in this horizontal direction down below. Black can go for the vertical, but this capstone can come left, and that is just too strong to ignore at this point. And this wall kind of gets in their own way. I think that this needed to be a flat. It would be less defensive, sure, but that it would have been a lot stronger in my head. Now white continuing to build yet another threat here. Building at c3. This renews the threat. White able to capture down with 2c5 minus. If you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about when I say stuff like 2c5 minus, that is the portable tack notation over here to the left. If you're unsure of how that works, it's fairly simple, and you can check out the video in Tack University called PTN, or Portable Tack Notation. I explain the whole thing, and there are other places you can find it on the ustack.org website. Okay, so black comes down. Now, white can't... Okay, white immediately renews the threat by bringing that capstone down. Now, this opens up that spot at c5 for black to drop a wall or even just a flat or do something to interrupt that there. Black's capstone can also come left onto c4, though I don't know if I would like that a lot. But I think that might be the play. It might be the play to bring the capstone, so 2d4 left. So bringing this capstone over here onto c4. That might be the play to make, though I could be mistaken. So it would be that move there would be the way to go. But white then would just play here and renew the threat. Then black would have to take the wall and move it left. So after white plays, and after we see the white flat fill in, then we'd see black bring that wall left to cut that off. Then what? White plays a flat here to renew the threat yet again. Like there's a lot going on here for white. White's able to keep renewing this threat over and over and over and over again. It's a tough spot to be in for Adelta. Definitely a tough spot. I feel like there was a way to force this into a much better position for Adelta earlier on, but different moves were made that sort of kind of allowed white to make these strong plays. All right, so this is the capstone move that we were talking about, and I did expect white to fill in here at white. No, instead playing off to the side, this is going for that horizontal line that I was talking about earlier, connecting A3 all the way down here to F1. That is a smart move. Black, if black is smart here, they need to do something right now at B3. Or at E1, but B3 is a lot stronger here. So a wall at B3 would be helpful. There we go. We do see the wall at B3. Otherwise, it basically would have been over, and white would have taken this. It is a tough position for black. NameOfStone is really coming out swinging, really wants to redeem himself here after that game 1 loss against adelta. And again, this is a 2-game match, so if NameOfStone does win this game 2, the tournament goes to a blitz tiebreaker between these two players, which means they would have to play 2 more games to see who comes out on top. Now, we saw black's wall come up here to stop this tag threat. So this was a road threat playing at d4. I expected, honestly, just a flat at d4 to stop that. But instead, the wall comes up. Now, this is threatening the e6 stack. But white can sort of keep that from happening by playing here at d4 or by capturing at d6 and played at d4. So now this wall stack can't capture e6 because that would lead to a loss. Black can capture down with d6 or left with the wall or right with the capstone. And well, actually, yeah, right with the capstone would have worked. It wouldn't have lost, but it would have been a bad move. And then white fills in again with another flat. Black could capture left here, could drop another wall, could drop a flat. Goes for the flat placement. White may decide to renew by placing a flat here at E4, E3 or F4. Either of those do work. Yep, and that's exactly what happens here. Flat drops. Black may decide to come down with F5. There's no black flat underneath the capstone, so that wouldn't help. Ooh, comes up instead. Now, this is interesting because he's using this to kind of bait a capture so he can use this wall stack to get a stack here. So adelta's trying to bait a capture so she can capture onto it with the wall so that she can get a lot more mobility with that wall and maybe make some positive flat count differential moves. And if you're like, what the heck is a positive flat count differential move? We talked about that in the FCD, or flat count differential video of TAC University. It's a really important concept of keeping track of your flat count score and your opponent's flat count score and making sure that that you're not too far behind, which can definitely happen. All right, so we saw now the capture from D6 onto this stack, capturing with a flat-on-flat capture. Let's see, I think white still has momentum here. White may want to play at like B2 or at B1, A1, A1, then the throw for the road. And black can play D6, B6, and the throw for the road. So yeah, so white is closer to a road. White has momentum, though it is quite close. Quite close here. Black playing, making the play here. Black wants to play at D6, but if white drops the wall to ruin that plan. Plan is now ruined. Black should probably throw this stack down. So take 3e6 minus 1-2. That's probably the play to make here. It interrupts white's horizontal, gets it away from that wall, and honestly works a little bit towards a road in the horizontal direction down below as well. So I think that that is the move. 3e6 minus 1-2. Let's see if black goes for it. She may decide to make some other move here. No shortage of options. But definitely want to keep that stack out of white's hands there, because white's going to be able to do some damage with it. Make a threat on the following turn at the very least. White is in a very strong position right now. I almost feel like that stack has to move at this point if black wants to have any chance of saving this. Doesn't. That invites that, so it does invite the wall stack to come over, but white can still now play at a2 and make the threat. And the a2 placement is just so strong, like it might be Tinue. a2 might be a Tinue move. It's that strong. So a2 gets played. Black can't come down with this wall here. Black would be able to bring this wall down to d3. That would be the play in my head that would save it. But then white plays at e2. Yeah, I think this is over. I think that it's Tinue for white. White has won this. I don't see any way out. But I could be mistaken, of course, but I do not see a way out of this. I think that black... I mean, even if black did this e6 spread down, it might have still been lost. Just because of the e1 availability and that sort of thing, but... Yeah, this is... I don't think this is going to work. I think white plays e1 here, and it's basically game over. Right? White plays e1, and black would have to bring this wall stack down to like d2. And then white fills in at e3. No, even bringing to d2 wouldn't work because the capstone would be able to throw down to c2 and c1. Yeah, this is it. It's over. It is over. Black can throw this to d1, and that's the only delaying move, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, d1's the only delaying move there. Yeah, and so now white can throw this capstone down. So 4c3 minus 1-3, and that'll do it. 4c3 minus 1-3. But NameOfStone might not see it. He might not see his own win. We see our spectator in the chat saying GG, sees it already. Oh, he did see it. Made the move, won the game. That is it for game 2. That means that NameOfStone wins game 2, and they have split their 2 games, meaning that they need to go to a blitz tiebreaker match in order to determine who the winner is. So these 2 players are very evenly matched, and that'll do it. That is big. I wonder if they're going to be playing that right now or if they're going to play later. We'll see. We'll find out. But that was a fun match. That one, it felt like Name of Stone basically commanded for a good portion of that. And I think there were a couple misplays from adelta that really allowed that to happen. But really, Name of Stone commanded that one pretty strongly. So we saw both games commanded very strongly by white. These players obviously prefer white. So big one there, big one. But yeah. But that is all for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the TAC Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of TAC resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be right here on playtac.com or asynchronously right there in the Discord server itself. And lots of great fun stuff to do on there, fun people to talk with and play with, and it's the best place to find people to play online. So that is all. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.